Good afternoon. It is December 26th, 2025, the day after the Christmas holiday here in Seattle. And I am sitting here trying to maintain my sense of stable groundedness. I feel like I'm having a lot of anxiety. It seems like as soon as I turn the camera on, I feel more calm. I guess it's reassuring when I videotape myself or something, even though this is not really videotape, but I still think of it like videotape from the public access VHS days of me as Goddess Kringen on Seattle public access television. I spent Christmas with the guy that I'm dating that I do music with and his ex-wife and their 12-year-old son, and they're all very close and they all get along. And they'd invited me for dinner, and I had a delicious home cooked meal. And then we drove around and looked at the Christmas lights, and I am pet sitting, cat sitting two different cats. An art car friend of mine had me come and stay at her house while she travels for the holidays, and then I checked on two other cats. So yesterday on Christmas Day, I took care of four different cats at three different households. And now I'm at my house grounding myself. I was going to go volunteer somewhere out in nature, but I changed the plan on that. And I joined actually a swimming pool place that has weights. And so I'm going to go lift weights. I decided to go back to 18 hours of fasting per day and then 6 hours of eating per day, although I might start with a 12 to 12. I'm trying to figure out how to plan my trip to San Diego. I'm leaving at the end of the year and I'm going to spend New Year's Eve in San Diego, La Jolla, California. And I'm really grateful for my freelance life, but at the same time, I'm feeling disoriented and like when I have a day where it's more free time, I'm feeling challenged about making decisions about what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it and what order I'm going to do it in. I have a sort of autistic, dyslexic, ADHD, OCD kind of brain that's always thinking and wanting to do new songs with Dave Flowers and wanting to figure out my schedule for the day in terms of the order in which I do things. Things in my life are kind of random. I don't have a regular schedule. I'm wearing green and green today with my Tom Petty who widens my jetty button. Tom Petty is a musician that I admire that passed away in 2017. And I say Tom Petty widens my jetty, which is partly an X-rated joke because, I have a huge crush on the guy, but also because he's one of the most handsome people that's ever lived on this planet. Tom Petty and Christopher Walken actually are two of the most handsome men I've ever seen. But um, Tom Petty widens my jetty kind of means he reinforces my faith in myself. He was a living example of somebody who follows his dreams. And he met Elvis Presley on the set of a film called Follow That Dream, which is a synchronicity, interesting thing in itself. And there's a 4 hour documentary called Running Down a Dream. And it's interesting to notice the synchronicities of life and the synchronicities of hearing Refugee on a jukebox in a pizza parlor when I was 11 years old, and I needed to follow my dream as an 11-year-old, just like Tom needed to follow his dream as an 11-year-old. And yesterday I was invited to go somewhere and swim with some other people, but I decided to just focus on taking care of the four cats, and I ended up hanging out with the cats and watching movies and listening to some Dave Chappelle comedy, and thinking about the fact that I appreciate the anger in which comedians are the tragedy versus the comedy, and the edge that comedians walk in terms of saying controversial things that might get them canceled if they were serious, but since they're making a joke about it, they can sometimes get away with it. And just interesting to live in these challenging psychological warfare times. And what else was I going to say? I found a free improv class. On Sundays in Seattle, I've been going to this improv class at the Seattle Center from 1 to 3 p.m. in the fourth floor of the Armory, which I love so much. And I found that when I'm going to be in San Diego from December 31st to about January 10th, 2026, there's two free improv workshops in a place in San Diego called Mockingbird. Mockingbird Improv, I think is what it's called. Mockingbird Improv. Kind of rhymes. I'm drinking some broth. So I'm thinking about my intermittent fasting and my low carb eating, mostly protein and vegetables and meat and vegetables, and eliminating seed oil and sugar again from my diet, and eating in a time restricted window, which was like 6 to 8 hours a day of eating. And then when I'm fasting, drinking black coffee, plain unsweetened tea, hot or iced black coffee, because I like that better than hot coffee, and broth, and mostly water on my fast. And then drinking broth in my window, eating my eating window, which was 6 to 8 hours a day of eating, and then 16 to 18 hours a day of just drinking liquids that have no calories so that you stay hydrated, including electrolytes in the water when need be, and swimming and biking and lifting weights for exercise, and making sure I get a lot of sleep. Because for a while I was running myself ragged, and let's just say I'm 57 and menopause is kind of kicking my ass, right? I'm in the menopause, and I'm in the menopause process right now. They say that takes up to 14 years to go through the entire process. But I was on birth control pills for many years, and so I don't really know when my real menopause started. And this is my Shannon Kringen monologue for today, the day after Christmas. And I'm feeling scattered. But as soon as I turn the camera on, I start feeling better. And it feels good to be home because I'm running around doing a lot of things out there in the world. And I'm not home very lately. I haven't been home very often, so it feels good to be home. And I'm going to be spending, 11 days in California soon, in La Jolla, taking care of two dogs that I haven't met yet. So that's going to be a new thing. And I want to ground myself and take a walk and not worry about the fact that not tons of people are watching these monologues on this YouTube channel, but this is just what I do to express myself as a human being, and a free range human being wants to stay close to nature, and just wanted to do a short monologue for today. Enjoying the taste of this broth. Have some loose ends to tie up, and I'm going to go back and hang with some kitties and check on two other kitties, taking care of a total of four cats, and looking forward to swimming in a pool later today, and working on new poems and music with Dave Flowers, and just grateful for freedom and health, and trying to learn and grow and heal every single day. That's all I have to say for now. Yeah, bye for now.